Oh, that's yes, yes, yes. Good evening, people. It's your boy Gumsa. I'm back again. It's the Armoury TV. I've got my guy Brenny with me. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm more. You know what? After today, I thought we was gonna get the draw, but you know, I don't know what people are worried about. I really don't know. I would have been worried if we were 3-0 down. We're 1-0 down, man. Jeez.
I hear that. I hear that. Just to let you know, it's the reaction show. Obviously, everyone's just seen the result. Porto 1, Arsenal 0. But Brenny's he's quite chilled about it, so I'm happy with that optimism. It wasn't the best of games, was it? But let's
No,
get into the starting 11s first of all. Um, saw the 11 come out. Any thoughts on it? Any surprises for you? What's your thoughts on the 11?
no, not really. I thought, well, most managers would keep the winning, um, keep it going really by keeping that same 11.
Hmm.
That's done really well in the last couple of games. Regardless of the opponents, you still got to beat what's in front of you, and I felt that side was good enough to get a result today against Porto, but I just know that we're gonna beat them at home,
Yeah, no,
and
I love your
you know
optimism,
what
man.
I
I,
mean.
I wish I could share it. Like, I think the problem for me in that game was we struggled to create anything apart from set pieces.
Yeah,
And that would be my main concern because
mm,
obviously they're going to come to the Emirates now with something to hold on to. The only positive is there's no away goals. So a 2-1 win, do you know what I mean, doesn't have the same implications that it used to have if we at home. Um,
of course.
but yeah, as I said, I think I could get the frustrations, but it's not the doom and gloom. However, you had to respect everyone's opinion, so we're going to go to Luke's comment here. Can't see us getting through now after that late goal. Defensively, they are sound. We haven't got the creativity to break them down. They were pick us off at Emirates. We're just shy in Europe. Silver Fox saying it's too reactionary. It's cringy. We are slapping them at the Emirates. He shares
Of course we
your
are.
optimism. We're poor in Europe. Um, yeah, he's not superstitious, but for God's sake, it seems to be a European curse with you lot. But I expect you to be fine second leg spot and sporting far better than these lot. Yeah, second leg's going to be interesting. What was your take on the game today? I didn't enjoy it in all honesty. Um, yeah, it wasn't a
I
great
didn't.
game.
I didn't. I mean, I mean, before the chance that Galeno had, which was, well, that was one of the strangest things I'd ever seen, and well, a couple of chances he had. It just looked like, for me, it looked like a goalless draw all the way. I thought obviously we controlled the game. I just think we wasn't very slick in our passing at all today. I don't know what was up with that. Um, there was no fluidity really in our game that we'd seen in recent weeks.
Hmm.
But you know what? I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, it was a fantastic strike, but we gave the ball away cheaply in the end. And I set pieces, I felt we could have done better at set pieces. I mean, for me, I know we had like to Havertz, like Saliba, all going like far post, and for me, we should have had someone on the near post to flick the
Mm.
ball on. you know,
Yeah.
to be more effective in our set pieces because Porto obviously did their homework
Mm,
with, um, but Gumza, I honestly haven't got any worries. Yeah, it'll be, banter. There'll be banter, there'll be all of that. But to be honest, I don't care what anyone else thinks, and I still feel we'll get a result in 3 weeks.
yeah. I hear you. I hear. I like what you're saying, and I do believe we'll turn it around. Yeah, it's just one of them frustrating things, isn't it? And I think it does. Again, 0-0. It's still a difficult game at home, but they have to come and
Mm.
do something. We've just given them all the impetus in the world to sit back and just soak it up. So, but
Yeah,
hopefully,
definitely.
yeah, again, an early goal could change things. And like you're saying, set pieces look like our biggest way to score. We did have them kind of ruffled, didn't we? Like they didn't like the set pieces. There was a lot of jostling, a lot of diving on the floor. But yeah, this wasn't our day today. So yeah, it's one of them things. I agree with you. I do think we will come back, but we need to just sharpen up. It's gonna be interesting to hear what people say because yeah, again, the negativity around a loss for us that seems to be wild. And it might happen to other fan bases. Obviously, I don't follow their teams like that. Um, however, let's get into it. Let's not much action. Obviously, you had that chance in the first half, which they hit the post from. That was
Yeah.
like the big let off, wasn't it?
Mm.
And then yeah, it's just literally nothing else in the game for either team was there until the goal comes. So let's just get straight into that goal. Um, what's your thoughts on it? Who everyone's looking to blame someone, so I want to hear what your thoughts is before I get into mine. Um, and then I'm sure there'll be some in the comments as well. So on their goal, what are we thinking?
Well, I thought Martinelli could have held on to the ball because I thought that was a very slop. It was I know he was trying to find Saka, but I thought, nah, man, what you doing?
Mm,
With a few seconds left, I basically would have I'd have taken that ball, made a run, and maybe and then play it to whoever's available.
mm,
I wouldn't have just played that pass like he did because that was just I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And then for and then for, I mean, with Rice playing well today, but what happened there? I don't like. It's not just him in games past where you've seen players, Gabriel. A number of players do it where they basically just they turn their back because they don't want to take one in the face,
mm,
and that was something I used to get rollicked at. Whenever I played for a, for a men's team, whatever, we used to get rollicked for that,
mm,
and I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, there's times where Gabriel's done that, and I see, I see, I see opposition players do that as well. And look what's happened.
mm,
Look what's
mm.
happened. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being in a situation like that? And that was the last minute in a Champions League final, and you're gonna have your hands behind your back and turn like
Yeah,
that instead of nah, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna blame this one, blame that one. I'm not gonna scapegoat this one, scapegoat that one. I'm not into that today
mm,
because we didn't look as good today. But then I didn't think we was gonna lose. I thought this is draw all over.
yeah. I think
So
that's the issue.
I'm not blaming anyone today.
That's fair enough. I was sitting there saying, um, we haven't been good today. There's no
No.
sugarcoating it, but there's one thing about this Arsenal team, we're a lot more resilient than in recent seasons.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why that one hurt because we kind of managed the game really well away from home. And
Mm,
again, Gabriel had a header just before that, where if that goes in, then you're talking about as one of them real professional away European performances. So football is fine margins, isn't it? Porto didn't give much away, so
yeah.
yeah, it's just a frustration to concede that one. I do echo your sentiment. I think even with Rice doesn't strike me as a player who's scared or is not going to put his foot there or his head there.
Mm,
I think for me watching him, it was just he didn't come out. one more step. If he came closer, one more step, it just
Yeah,
closed down the angle more.
yeah,
I think that could have made a difference. Obviously, I think a lot of people are going to blame Raya because it's just going to be the fashionable thing to do. It's the easy thing to do.
mm,
Again, you could look at his positioning, just showing that I think he was 4 yards off his line, which is a normal position for a keeper. I think unfortunately he's just not tall enough. When you watch it, someone said he's gone with the
mm,
wrong hand. He completely hasn't gone with the wrong hand. He's just not tall enough. And again, when you're taking the shot from that far out on your right foot, you can
mm.
set it out further to bring it back in because you're curling it in towards the
That's
goal.
right.
So a bigger keeper may have got to it. Again,
Yeah.
people are saying moving his feet. I think everyone's looking to scapegoat. Whereas sometimes you have to applaud the finish. But I do think you say Martinelli holding on to the ball. I can see his reasoning for passing. Because if you look at that attack, we had three players on that side ready to break.
Mm,
So like you said, he could have drove. I'd like to see where Porto's
mm.
defensive positions were because yeah, it looked like we were springing. But yeah, the quality
I've
of the
seen
pass wasn't good
Martinelli
enough.
play better balls than that, Gunza.
Yeah,
To be
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
with you. I've
But
seen him play better balls like that
so
situation.
Tony said again, trying to maybe he's saying Odegaard touched it, which stopped him and Saka. For me, it was in between both players. It was I don't know who the ball was for. At first, I thought it was for Saka, and then I really watched it hit it hard enough to be for Saka, in my opinion. So it looked like it was meant for Odegaard, but it was too far in front of him. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, for me, I go back to the pass. I think, like you're saying, it's the 93rd minute. Yes, we want to score, but again, he's not envisaging this pass is going to get cut out and we're going to concede.
Mm,
But it's just that game management, isn't it? So,
yeah.
um, yeah, it's a difficult one. But again, not much happened in the game. Obviously, Rice
No.
got a booking early.
Mm.
I think it's a bit harsh to be a yellow card. It wasn't even a tackle, really,
It
was it? Like the
it
first bit
was.
of action in
Yeah.
the game.
It
But
was harsh.
again, I've missed Champions League football. When I watched that today, and I couldn't enjoy it. The referee just blew
Mm,
everything. Um, and it's a bit sometimes you get used to again watching the Premiership where they do let
yeah.
certain things go. There was one I think there's Odegaard where he's pressed their centre back and he's turned slipped on the floor, handballed it, and the referee just does the safe thing, gives him a free kick, and yeah, it just the game was stop start. It wasn't flowing, was it? It was yeah,
No,
ugly game to
it
watch.
wasn't.
So
It wasn't.
yeah, real ugly game to watch. Yeah, I said there's not much to really talk about in the game. Okay, I think we can maybe touch on the players a bit more. Let's get into some player ratings and then we can maybe talk a bit more about each player because yeah, I think there was a lot of below par performances, um, and yeah, I think that's just the best thing we can really do right now. So let's start with David Ray. I think maybe we should both score him because we're only 12 minutes into the stream. There's nothing else to
Yeah,
talk about. So you
it's
score,
true.
I
You know.
score, and we'll talk about it. We've been sport the last few weeks with loads of goals to talk about. So
Mm,
today's a difficult one. But and I'm not like Bobby. I can't draw up all those possession stats and XGs and all that. But
mm,
like, you know, I just don't think there's that. All I
yeah.
know is there was 0 shots on target from Arsenal. Um,
Well, this is it.
but we can go through a few of the chances when we talk about the players
Mm,
because we did have a couple of good chances from set pieces.
mm.
Um, so yeah, let's go into David Raya. What would you score him for his performance today?
I thought, well, 7 today.
Do you think he could have done better on the goal?
To be honest, I don't think Aaron Ramsdale would have done better on the ball. I mean, on the goal. Sorry. You know what I mean? And
Mm,
probably would have been in the same. Would he been in the same position as Raya? So
mm,
yeah, I mean, I'm not black. I'm not faulting him for the goal. Most the top keepers in the world wouldn't have saved that.
yeah, I'm with you.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just watching. Do you know? I'm just watching the replay again. Yeah, I can't even look at Raya for that. In all honesty,
Mm-mm.
again, as I said, the guy sell it out to bend back in is beat him all
Yeah,
ends up. Um,
yeah.
so yeah,
I've still got it on here as well. So yeah,
I think I agree with him. I think a 7. I think he's probably one of the only players you can say actually they've had a good performance. He dealt with everything
yeah.
that got whipped in at him.
Mm,
A lot of crosses. They were getting a lot of crosses and he dealt with all
mm.
of that well. His distribution was good.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I would say a 6 or a 7. I would say a 6. He didn't really have much shots to save, but everything he
Mm,
did well. Um, let's go into the back line. Let's go with Ben White first.
mm. Ben White. Ah, um, he didn't look at his best today. For me personally,
Mm,
but I mean, it was. it was what's the name he was dealing with, wasn't it? God, I just mentioned his name on the left. Um, what was his name?
Is it Galino?
G-
Galano?
G- G-
Yeah,
Galeno?
Galano. Yeah, something like that.
Galeno?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, him and himself and Saka on the right. There wasn't. I didn't really see a lot of overlapping today, and they normally do that well together. But for me, it'd just be six today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think with the
Yeah,
overlapping thing, I think what we've seen of late is Ben White's now the more inverted player.
yeah,
If you watch it, it's almost a free of Kiri or Gabriel Saliba, and Ben White then
mm,
tucks into midfield. So yeah, you're probably
mm,
going to see a little less of the overlapping from him. Yes, and it's Galino, his name is. Sorry, I just got the pronunciation.
clean, yeah,
Um, so yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, White, nothing spectacular, but also wasn't bad.
mm, mm,
Just so I'll give him a standard five.
mm.
Saliba, I'll go first. I think this was his worst game in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah. It was, it was. He wasn't
He
himself
looked
today.
no defensively. He looked off it a couple. He missed
Mm.
time things. He let things go over his head. That one where they hit the post, he stood watching like he's.
Yeah,
I don't know if he didn't judge where the ball went because obviously it took like a
mm,
deflection to get the cross in. Um, but he was literally stood still, and the guys kind of ran across. Like the ball was in the air for a little while, wasn't it? And
yeah.
yeah, I just
It's
don't
not like
see
him
what
to
happened
ball
there. There was
watch.
another one where
Yeah,
I think when Ben White gave away the foul, the ball just went over his passing. Yeah, his passing wasn't great either. He did hit a couple out. There was a little chip ball he tried to give to the left side, which completely got cut out. Yeah, he didn't have a good game, so I'd score him a three today. But yourself for Saliba.
Saliba. To be honest, I would have scored a four for him because he just wasn't on it today.
Mm, I agree.
But yeah,
Gabriel, you can go first on Gabriel.
Gabriel, he was the better of the two again today.
Mm,
And for me, he gets a six today. I mean, he was just his usual combative self. Should have should have. I felt I thought he would have hit the target from that free kick from Odegaard
mm,
second half. But yeah, he hasn't let me down today. That's for sure.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with your scoring as well. I think Gabriel had a another good game. He's becoming ever dependable, isn't he? Tony's
Yeah,
saying the same thing. He doesn't think Saliba's been great
mm,
this season. Gabriel saved him a lot.
yeah,
Um, they have got a strong partnership. Um,
mm,
so yeah, he stood up again today. Um, right, Kiri on the left side. I'll go first on this one. So I'll give him a. Yeah, it wasn't great. Got
mm,
caught out a lot. Like again, he's not a natural fullback, so you see in them areas he does struggle.
yeah,
He's like hasn't got. He's meant to be really fast, but he doesn't seem to pick up pace quickly. Porto
but
got
yeah,
quite quick
because
little wingers, didn't they?
Conte
Um,
Sal, yeah, I think Conte Sal also nutmegged him as well, didn't he?
mm, mm.
So
So yeah,
yeah, I was like, oof,
at one stage I was frightened for that left side. It just looked so open. And it's when I think Declan
yeah,
Rice got the block in.
mm,
Yeah, there was looked like there was just no recovery pace. But again, he hasn't played a lot of football. I know he's played the last three games, but when you're playing at that intensity,
mm,
again, the last two games have been easy for us. So it's probably a bit
yeah.
of a shock, and his probably legs aren't used to 90 minutes at that intensity. So
Mm.
um, yeah, I'll give him a four. What about you?
I'd say the same.
Yeah,
Yeah, same for
yeah, all
me.
right. Let's move on to Declan Rice. You're first on this one, so let's just go for Big Deck.
Yeah, got a yellow, which was harsh.
Mm,
But then I thought he did really, really well today. I mean, yeah, in regards to the goal, if it'd been a yard or two, a yard or two closer, then who knows? But I'm gonna give him a seven today. I still thought despite what happened at the end there, I thought he had a good game in midfield.
mm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think probably one of the better performers again. Him with
Mm,
Raya,
mm,
Gabriel. I think they showed
yeah,
maybe their maturity in this young team.
Mm,
Um, he didn't look overwhelmed by it at all. Defensively, he does what he does. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, I think it was a solid performance. And again, he marshaled himself well, knowing he was on the yellow. So yeah, I'll give him I'll go 7 with you. Um, but yeah, I agree. I think he could have done a bit more on the goal. As I said, just one step closer could have made all the difference. He kind of, yeah, he didn't get out quick enough, did he? Um,
no.
but yeah, let's see what happens.
But you know
Um,
what, though? I will say before we go on, I will say for Declan Rice, he's. I mean, he's talking now, but
mm,
I feel that you watch Saturday Newcastle, you watch an even better performance from him
yeah,
because
100%,
he's going to
100%,
feel away that he's that kind of player. He's that kind of person.
100%. Um, yeah, let's go into the other two midfielders. So we start with Martin Odegaard.
Tried at he did get a lot of possession, a lot of the ball, and he was trying to do things with it, but
Mm,
but I didn't think he had a great game, a good game. I didn't think he had a bad game. So
mm,
and for me, I'll just give him a standard six.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think first half he looked like the only one that he looked alright in the first half. I must say,
Mm,
he kept coming deep, picking up the ball, and he was trying to get things going.
yeah.
Um, Again, I think they just done a very good job to nullify
Mm,
him. I don't think it was a bad game from him. I just don't think he could get anything going. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I agree with a 6. I don't think it was a bad performance from him at all. Um, his partner in there, Kai Havertz.
Mm. I actually thought he was going to get substituted because apart from it was from Saka's corner where he should have hit the target at least. I was a bit disappointed with that, and he for me he didn't have he didn't have as big as influence in the game as he's had in recent weeks.
Mm,
But you know what? It does happen. But then what's probably going to happen is that everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon and say, "Oh yeah, well, what a waste of money. This is this that," and we know it happens to players, regardless whether you like them or not.
mm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he was one to bounce back on Saturday as well. So, but for me, I just have to give him a 5 tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I can't argue with that. Didn't do enough. I said I think with Odegaard, as much as no one created anything,
Mm,
Odegaard looked busier. He was tidy, trying to get things taken over. I
mm,
think the difference in the right side and left side was evident today. The right
mm.
side looked like they were trying to probe. It seemed like every time the left side
Yeah.
kind of got the ball, it just broke down.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I'm with you on that one. Even putting him up front, I don't think we then tried to use him to his
mm,
strengths of maybe trying to get the ball into him and working off him. Um, so even when he went up front, he didn't really touch the ball. I don't think. I can't remember him doing anything when he was up front. So yeah, the game kind of really passed him by today. So yeah, I agree. I think a
yeah.
5. Um, yeah, I think that's a fair score. Let's go on to Bukayo Saka. I'll go first. I'm going to give him a. Yeah, everyone's kind of getting onto him, and I don't think he was that bad again. I think he was trying, he was probing, and he picks up the ball. He's trying to make things happen. He's driving inside. Nothing happened, but he wasn't bad when he got. I think only one pass kind of got a cut out, which set them on their way. So I do have to rate him higher
Mm,
than some of the others. I don't think it was a bad performance. I think he just nothing came off for him.
mm.
So I'll give him a 5. I'll give him. What about yourself?
Uh, I was gonna give him a 6 because of it. Just to echo
Mm,
exactly what you just said. You know what I mean? He
mm,
was, he was his, he was working hard on the right. He was trying to get things going himself. There were at times, there were at times where I thought he was gonna like, really give it to Skin Wendell, the left back,
mm,
and but then it was just the usual like cutting back to say to Ben White or squaring it to Odegaard. He's using his right foot a lot more as well, Saka.
Mm,
But but yeah, he like I said, he wasn't for me. He wasn't poor today, and he wasn't at his best today. So yeah,
mm.
I just
Yeah,
went for
with you on that.
6.
Cool. Let's go on to the other side. Martinelli, you're first.
Mm. Frustrated me a bit today at times.
Mm,
Really frustrated me. That left hand side, it's to be honest, I'm not knocking Kirill here, but I feel that Martinelli probably would have had a better game if he had Tomiyasu or even though he inverts Zinchenko. But I'd have to give him a 5 today.
you've gone high. I've given Martinelli a two today. I think he was awful.
Mm, mm,
Um, every time he got the ball, he just done nothing with it. And again, not saying Saka done much more with the ball, but there was a bit more. It just didn't come off for Saka. But Martinelli kicked things out of play, things under his feet, ran things off the pitch. Like there
Yep.
was a one time where he could have played a 1-2 of Havertz, and he tried to control it. The touch went up in the air. Like he just had one of those games which just nothing came off for him. Like again, every the touches were always big, so he's running into trouble. Um, yeah, I think he had a horrendous game today. And then obviously at the end, he gives the ball away to give them the goal. So um, yeah, I'm hoping he will bounce back. I do just think there's some games which they were so organised today, weren't they? And there's no space.
Yeah,
And this
they
may be
were.
a game where you need them kind of intricate players where they are going to just play off one or two touches. When we did get it right, sometimes we played off two touch, one touch, and we kind of got into good spaces. But as soon as you start taking 3 and 4 against that team, they were so organised. So um, yeah, I was surprised he kind of saw out the game, in all honesty. But again, I think if it was at home, I think we would have saw more changes. I think Arteta kind of maybe said, "I'll take the point." Well, not the point, to take the draw, I should say.
Mm,
But yeah, for me, it wasn't a great game from him. Again, he touched the ball more than Trossard, and my score for Trossard is going to be higher because I don't think Trossard did anything bad on the ball. He just couldn't get into the game, whereas I think Martinelli actually had a lot of the ball
mm,
and done nothing with it really and honestly. So um, yeah, for me, it'd probably be the lowest mark I'd ever get from me as well, but it's a two. So yeah, we will move on to Trossard next. And guys, sorry, I'm seeing a lot of your comments. So we will get to this stuff soon. We need some talking points for later, so we're going to use this a bit later to come back and talk about. So keep the comments firing. Yeah, but before that, Trossard.
Trossard for me, giving him a 7.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I'm being generous. I
wow.
actually thought he was the one person that looked like if we were going to get anything out of the game, it would have been through him. Yeah, he had that opportunity that I thought should have hit the target. Probably didn't realize how much time he had.
Mm,
There was that, and I felt he was making some good runs at times. And yeah, actually, no, did I say 7? No, 6.
mm.
Because I'm just thinking back.
Yeah, yeah, I think
6,
7.
6, not
Yeah,
7, 6.
I'm with you.
So yeah, and they're showing the highlights again. Yeah,
Mm,
so yeah, it'd be for me a 6. But I was surprised that he was taken off.
yeah,
He
yeah.
gets, but I actually thought Martinelli would have been taken off.
Yeah, I thought Martinelli or Havertz would be one of the two to come off. In all
Yeah,
honesty,
so
and it
I
wouldn't be
think I
mad at
didn't
it.
get that. Yeah,
Because I
I
think
didn't
yeah,
get
you could
that
have
at
put
all.
Trossard on the left and give that a try for a bit, couldn't you?
Yeah,
If he was to take off someone else, but um, yeah, I'll give him a 6. Again, I get what you mean. He was trying, but yeah, I just didn't see enough of him. And I think this is, I know before we've always spoke about can Trossard play the false nine, and he's done really well the last few games. We've been purring, but this is always my fear. As a game like this is where,
mm,
do you know what I mean? He struggled to get him into the game. And it's no fault of his own. Same as Odegaard. Sometimes you saw how deep Odegaard had to come to get on the ball. Sometimes teams are just nullifying us. So yeah, I can't fault. Yeah, I don't think he had a bad performance. I just think he just couldn't get in the game. So yeah, I'll give him a 6 as well. You went 7. Oh no, you changed to a 6, didn't you?
yeah.
Um, let's get into our sub, our one and only sub, Jorginho. What are you giving him?
Well. didn't do anything wrong when he came on, did he? So it just had to be a just a standard five.
Mm,
Yeah, it
yeah,
wasn't poor enough like that. Just
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you know what I mean. I mean, in all honesty, I thought if there was one person who was going to start today, it would have been him.
Mm, mm. It's
To be
hard
honest.
because it's the way this team's been performing. It would have been harsh to drop
And
somebody,
this is it. Yeah, I mean,
but
exactly.
in
I'm not
hindsight,
saying
isn't it?
yeah, and I'm not saying oh yeah, Arteta should have this, should have that. I'm not saying that at all. But you know, he's for me, I don't think he'll start the second leg either because I think we'll have a few players back for the second leg.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hope so. We're gonna need something. Um, right, let's go into. I'll give Jorginho a 5. I think some of
Mm,
his passes went a bit astray, some little touches,
mm,
but yeah, again, didn't really have much time to do much. And a bit like you, it is one of them games where you feel maybe him coming on earlier could have had a bit more of an influence because he can pass the ball, he
yeah.
those cutting edge passes, can't he? So
Mm,
um, I would like to get him to get a bit more time, but it is what it is. Let's move into Arteta. What are you going to score him for today?
mm.
I think have you
Well,
lost me or have you lost Brenny?
I'm still here.
Brenny, you there still?
Yeah, I'm here. You
Sorry, I
see?
think my signal's cutting. But yeah, what are you going to score Arteta?
Yeah, I'll tell you. What can I score him today? I mean, oof, I can only score him. I can only score him a six.
That's
The
fair enough.
he chose a side. He chose a side. I mean, he picked a side that. Well, we all looked at that and thought, well, yeah, it's good enough to get a result today. So I'm not faulting him for that.
Mm,
I just felt maybe. I mean, I know we had quite a few corners today and working on set pieces. I thought there'd have probably been a bit more urgency to get that goal.
mm,
But
mm,
the one thing I didn't agree with the substitution. I thought he took off. He shouldn't have taken. For me, he shouldn't have taken off Trossard. Should have taken off Martinelli or Havertz today.
mm,
You know, and but yeah, but I see he was trying to. I mean, I see he was trying to like set. He was trying to set ourselves up not to lose the game
mm.
as
As the game
well.
was
You
going on, you
know,
saw that,
as he
didn't
was
you?
going, yeah, you could see that. You know what I
Mm,
mean? That's why. That's why I think if it was a home game, it'd have probably been like, okay, right, let's get Reece Nelson on. Let's get Eddie on. You know what I mean? Let's
mm.
try and win this game. But I see what he was trying to do. But yeah, he just gets a six from me today.
Yeah. Big up Sam, Spurs for Life. Nice to see you again. I knew you'd be here
Oh
today.
well, he hasn't been on. Yeah, he ain't been on there for ages, man.
Yeah, for a long time.
Jeez.
He dropped a comment in the group, and literally as he dropped it, we conceded. So
Yeah.
yeah, it hurt my heart. But yeah, big up yourself.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you,
big up.
man. Yeah, about Stoke, man. If we're Stoke, man, you're Bolton Wanderers, man. Sure.
But just remember, Sam, we come on like, straight away after we lose a game. So
We
just take
do.
note of that. Yeah, just take
Not
note.
2 weeks later, man. Not 2 weeks
Exactly
later. You
that.
know what I mean?
Exactly that. Yep, yep, yep. But yeah, big up yourself and big up the rest of the Paxton Road crew, man. Got enough love for them. Um,
Respect, Sam. Respect.
but yeah, my score for Arteta. Um, I think team he picked out, not a problem with it. As I said, it's hard to change that winning team. I think, yeah. And again, I can't say I've watched much of Porto this year, so I don't know if this is how they play week in, week out, or if they've set up to match Arsenal, or to nullify Arsenal, I should say.
Mm,
So I can't comment on that at all. Maybe someone can tell me this is how Porto have been playing all season. And if that is the case, then yeah, maybe we should have done something different. But I can only go on
mm,
what do you know what I mean? I'm based on which was
mm.
I wouldn't have started a different 11. I would have gone with the
Yeah,
same team.
I haven't seen Portuguese played, seen except for highlights in Champions League. I haven't even seen any of their league games.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. So
So yeah,
yeah, so I can't give too much into that. I just think in game, um, I just feel we were bad, and I don't know how much of it's on him. In all honesty, I think we just
mm,
didn't create anything. Can he do something at halftime to get us a bit more fluent? Yeah,
mm,
potentially. Could we have made some more changes? Definitely. I think ESR could have been handy in this game. Um, just because he's going to drive at people and maybe offset them a little bit. Sometimes you need to move players out of position to create some space,
Mm.
which is what Saka does a lot of. But I think ESR would have definitely done that. But again, this is my bias towards ESR maybe,
Mm.
because we haven't seen much of him this season. Do you know what I mean? To
No.
justify that comment, but again, I can see what Arteta. He went with the players he trusts. He knows he's had a lot of football.
Mm.
Even the substitution was Jorginho, who he trusts. It's games like this, it kind of puts our squad depth into question. Yes,
Yeah.
we've got okay players out there, but it's nothing that he really relies upon when the chips are down. So it's what's the point in having him if he's not going to use him in games like this?
Mm.
Um, so yeah, let's. I'm going to give him a 5. Um, yeah, I'll give him a 5. Um, yeah, right. We're going to get to some comments anyway, 'cause we've got loads in here, and I promise we're going to
Mm.
go through them. Some of us read, some we have a little discussion about. Um, I know people got to say things in here as well. Big up RT Lee, big Liverpool fan. I know he's buzzing because they won today. Um,
No, yeah, they came back.
so Tony Fulbrook, I know he's not Arteta's biggest fan, but to be honest, it's more to do with Arteta's tactics. You can't expect a horse to run fast and tell
They,
it to run slow. I think that was
you
in
know,
response to my Kirill comment. Um, yeah, I was
I'm not
maybe
either,
I'm not.
but it is what
I
it
think
is,
that
man.
came in when I said about Kirill looked like he was struggling. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we can. Luke saying, I think Porto just outsmarted us tonight. They are seasoned pros in European Cup knockout football. They know how to draw a foul and get away with one. They are defensively sound. Yeah, and I think there's a
Mm.
lot of that today. They managed the game.
Mm.
They knew what they were doing. Again, we are quite a slow build-up team anyway, so they almost said that I have position in there, but you're not coming
Mm.
through the middle.
We've
Let us get out
always,
wide, and we're a team when we're out wide, we don't flood the
yeah,
box very much.
and we've never won there as well.
Yeah,
We've never won there as well, but
yeah,
they've
yeah.
never beaten us at home either. But when we've played them at home,
Mm,
I've been to two Champions League games against Porto where we were so convincing, and hopefully that can happen again.
mm.
You
Yeah,
know.
let's hope so. Um, Tony saying our passing was bad, and this is where I do take some of the blame off Arteta. Um, the amount of times we passed it the wrong side of the player or behind him.
Mm.
There was one we were trying to break, and I think it might have been Odegaard passed the Saka. And he had to literally stop his run, turn around, and get the ball. And we hit a lot out today as
Yeah,
well. I think definitely
and
Saliba and Whiteside, they were trying the long balls,
mm,
and it was just going out of play or behind
yeah,
Kivior
Rice,
or
yeah, Rice as well. He played a brilliant ball to Odegaard, but Odegaard just couldn't even get
could have
hold of it.
miscontrolled it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's those little things there. Like I said, if you play football, you're going one way and you have to turn around to
mm,
retrieve a ball. What that does for the other team means they can just get close to you again. So that whole momentum you built just kind
yeah,
of dies off straight away because it just gives them that extra 2 seconds just to get closer to you and as a team
mm,
press and squeeze again. So yeah, I think our passing wasn't its best today. We probably made the most passes we made in the game, but it was so much of it was under no pressure. It's easy to pass, isn't it? But it's when we had to actually up the tempo, up the speed. A few times we've done
yeah.
it well, but too many times we put the ball the wrong side of players or overhit it or underhit it. So made it easy. Luke's also saying, think a lot of Arsenal fans disrespected them, thinking we could turn them over easily. Tonight should be humbling. Yep. And all we got to do is make
Mm,
sure we bounce back pretty quickly. Obviously, we've got Newcastle on the weekend, which is not a good game, not an easy game, I should say.
mm,
So we need to bounce back in that one. Neil's here. He's saying we played a very good Porto team tonight. They forced us to play poorly. Yeah, sometimes we have to give them some
mm,
credit. They pressed us extremely well. We need to learn from this
yeah,
and
they
be
did.
prepared to play a low block. And that is where, do you
Mm,
know what I mean? Personnel come in. I know Partey was been training, so
mm,
hopefully he might be back in the next game. Vieira was on the bench. Hopefully Jesus and Sinchenko are back as well. And that does make a difference because
they do. Yeah,
quality
definitely.
players, quality
Especially
players.
Thomas Partey for me.
He is going to be like a new
Obviously,
signing. I'm just
I mean,
hopefully he stays fit.
yeah,
I'm hoping he stays fit. So there was an interview with Jorginho recently, and they were saying like most underrated player, and he said Partey.
yeah,
So shows what he
that's
thinks of him
right.
as a
Yeah.
player, and I think people do forget what Partey does bring to this team. But
Hmm.
we haven't seen it this year because he's not been available. So hopefully he can now have a good run to the end of the season. Um, yeah, Tony, I'm with you now. We move on to Newcastle. It is what it is. It's half time
Yeah,
in this tie.
exactly.
We take them back to Emirates. So hopefully improve on this performance. Uh, Sorry, my button's not working. I agree with Neil. This ain't Palace, West Ham, or Burnley. This is a big club with more successful European history than us. Yeah, and
Mm.
I for one,
Yeah.
probably didn't. I don't. I think I looked at this game and thought, oh yeah, we should be comfortably going through, and
Mm.
we underestimated. Again, not saying the team did. I do think they set up really well, but I know as a fan, I underestimated Porto in this game. Um, we've been playing low blocks all season, yeah, and we have found it hard in certain times. The early goal does make a big difference for us. If we can score early against a low block, it just means teams have to come out. It ruins their game plan. But the more time goes on, the more their game plans start to work, the harder it is. And I think that's why we scored so many
Mm.
from set pieces.
Yeah.
Sam's saying he thinks we'll beat them in the return leg. He wants us to beat in the return leg because he knows he needs the English teams to do well in order to get the fifth place Champions League spot. So we're trying
Uh,
to do you a favour and get you in that fifth spot, Sam. But no promises. That would be the only thing that makes this bittersweet. This victory, this if we get
yeah.
beat by them, is if that Tottenham come fifth and they don't get Champions League spot. Then yeah, that's the only way. But yeah, let's see. Luke saying, oh, Neil saying, Luke, we cannot be naive about any team. Porto are disciplined and organised, yeah, and they have quality. That's the difference between playing like some of
Mm.
the other teams in the Prem. You can see some of their attacking players are very, very good. Really, quite strong as well. Balls like they were kind of going quite direct into them, isn't it? And Saliba and Gabriel
Yeah.
couldn't get around them and pinch the ball. They were very good at
That's
holding it up and
right.
then waiting for support. So, and they're
Mm.
quite good on the transition as well. It's like playing Man United. Um,
Yeah.
transition teams, isn't it? When we play them at home, Arteta won't play the same tactics. Yeah, potentially not.
It
Yeah,
won't be
big
the
up Sam
same
again. He
11.
wants it.
Won't be the same 11 either.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Sam wants to have a convo about Havertz. We could do this when you invite me on a stream. When Arsenal play Tottenham, we have this conversation about Havertz. Yeah. All right. Um. Oh, sorry. We have Tony, but Porto could play at a high level. They'll probably have Taremi available for the second leg too. Yeah, potentially. What else we got? It's a loss that we needed, to be honest. We need to learn more about drawing teams like this out from their shape. Yeah, and that sometimes is an individual player. Someone has to do something. Um, so yeah, for me, like an ESR, him in them areas, he
Mm.
takes a bit more risk. He's a bit more dynamic, isn't he? You watch
Yeah.
their players, like their players are quite nimble. So when they get in
They
you one on
were.
one, they're jinking past you and running at you, and
Mm.
someone else has to come and join. I know Martinelli's very fast, but again, he's more direct. Um, so yeah, someone just to do a little bit different. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm with you on that.
I
We
mean, I
need to
was
try
impressed
and
with
draw
Porto's
these
front
teams
three. I
out.
mean, even Ilson, I was impressed with him as well. Conte
Mm,
Sal's a
mm,
very good player.
yeah.
Um,
Um, Tony's saying it's not the side, it's his tactics in Europe. So he's saying it's not Porto's
mm.
brilliance, it was more Arteta's shapes. Again, beg to differ a bit. I think we play the same anywhere we go, in all honesty. I don't think our tactics change much. Um, I think in some teams press us high, some teams sit back a bit more. And depending
Yeah.
what they do, we try and break it down. Again, from the minute one we had the ball, which is the same as every game. So I'm not going to say it's more his tactics. We play the way we play. Um, like most managers, De Zerbi, Klopp, Pep, them they don't change their tactics. This is how we play.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, they may invert Ben White or they may invert Zinchenko, but it's very much a similar pattern. We're going to keep the ball and move it and tick it and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
100% agree with this. We could have changed six players and they couldn't mind. 100% agree with that.
Mm.
And Tony's calling me biased for my ESR love. I'm going to accept it. I am. I love ESR. He's my birthday twin.
Hey,
Um,
I'm an ESR fan. You know what I mean? I love to see him
yeah,
back in the side.
yeah. Big up
Love
Damos
it.
as well. He's saying big up to us.
Hey, bro.
Yeah. Right, let's see what else we've got up in here. Talking about our saviour Partey, he signed in 2020 and has missed an entire season in games. But it's like a new signing, Tony, when he comes back now. So let's just enjoy it. As I said, whatever happens to him at the end of the season happens. We've got obviously, I think a few players will be leaving. AI Bobby kind of tries to keep us in the loop as best as he can. There will be some departures, but for now, he if he stays fit, he has an important part to play, like Jesus, like Sinchenko when they come back. The more players we have, the better, isn't it? like. So yeah,
This is
he's
it.
let us down this season. However, if he can stay fit to the end of the season, I'm not going to be complaining. And if he goes in the summer, again, yeah, farewell, and hopefully he leads us to some sort of glory, or helps us get to some glory. And yes,
And
this is a big shock. I think if anyone, this is probably a coupon buster. Pepe didn't get his usual booking. That's how good we were. Yeah, no one took it to him. But again, he was well protected, really well protected. In fact, is it Varela and
yeah,
Nico Gonzalez? Them two, they're screened and didn't let. No, I think only once Martinelli was able to get a run at him when he knocked it round him, and then
mm,
Varela got back around and cleaned up. Um, and it just showed the job Varela done. He was unbelievable. I think they gave him man of the match. He just screened everything in that area. And yeah, so Pepe was able just to stay inside that box, stay between the width of the post, and just head anything clear. And yeah, that's solid performance. So yeah, we got to find a way to trouble them a little bit more in the next game. So yeah, just get to the last comment from Tony. This makes me laugh. This one, if the wind blows, Partey will be out again. That's why we're waiting for spring to bring him back into this team. When the wind when the wind stops a little bit.
yeah,
So, no, yeah. So there was pictures of him in training, but obviously he's probably become a bit too
mm,
soon. And again, not to risk him, and then he's injured for now for the rest of the
mm,
season. So yeah, if he needs to take a couple more games before he actually starts, then
mm.
yeah, let so be it.
Well,
Um,
Timber's been back training as well, hasn't he? But light training for him.
Yeah, yeah. What actually
But
happened with
it's
Tomiyasu? Because he played in Asian games, and then I remember everyone talk about he could come back and play the next game. And do you remember? I don't know if he was in the
yeah,
group that
and
day.
then and
People
then
were
he
saying
just
get him a
yeah, and then
chartered
he took a
flight.
knock.
Yeah,
That's
he just
right.
not.
And then I don't know, Gums. I don't know what's up with him. I don't even know what you know what injury he's got. I just don't know. So
Yeah,
hopefully he'll be back this weekend. But Bob, I'm sure Bobby will let us know.
yeah. AI Bobby, when you listen to this, please inform us for us because we want to know where
Yeah,
Tomiyasu is.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
we'll
when
see what
Timber
happens.
plays, plays his behind closed doors game, that's what I'm looking forward to. You
Yeah, yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Uh huh.
like
Uh
on
huh.
Twitter, like Arsenal's won four
Yeah,
one in
man.
behind closed friendly. Yeah, we're ready for
You
that
know.
one. So
Yeah.
yeah, it said we've got some big
Yeah,
players to come
man.
back, which hopefully we're still in the
Exactly.
competition for it to make a difference. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
man.
it's not over yet. There was a comment earlier. Where was it? It was about Liverpool, um, or about the title race. Where is it? Where is it? Where is
Mm.
it? Bear with me. Sorry, 1 second. I know I should have started it. Where are you? Who said it? Was it this far down? Hold on. Isco's big up Isco by the way. He's saying give us Real Madrid. Oh, I missed this comment as well from Luke. A few times Ray was looking to start off a counter attack, but nobody could be bothered to match his urgency. Yeah, and there's even one near
Yeah.
the end where he
Yeah.
rolled it out, and within
Right
two
about that.
passes we were going backwards again. So
Mm.
yeah, it wasn't great. Here it is. Guna Greg, big up yourself. Sorry, Guna, I did star it as well. He's saying, think both trophies have become more difficult to win from tonight. 1 goal cup deficit and 5 points gap in the Prem. What's your thoughts on? Obviously, you're confident we're going through in this game, so we'll forget about the Champions League for
Mm.
now. Premier League, Liverpool winning tonight, 5 points ahead of us, but we have a game in hand, which obviously will be against Newcastle because they've got the League Cup, Carabao Cup final on Sunday, so they're not playing this weekend. Do you think that's gone, or okay? If just say
No,
we lost to
no, no,
Newcastle, just
no.
say we lost to Newcastle, do you reckon that's done the league 5 point gap?
Yes, because you know what City are like, isn't it? City are the. You remember them times when every summer Usain Bolt would he would hardly had any runs and he'd miss a lot of Diamond League meetings, and then towards the end of the summer he would come good, and then gold medal, 100 gold medal, 200. That's City, so they'll be doing that. So,
Mm,
but for us, we draw or lose games from now on. For me, title's done. I still think we'd finish in the top three,
mm,
but but for us, we have. It's like it's like Liverpool and City. It's like them them types of sides can always afford to lose a game or draw a game, but
mm,
they're still there. Whereas
yeah.
us, us, we lose or draw a game, and it's like, mm.
Yeah,
We're not mathematically out of it, but you know, we just got to keep doing what we keep doing. If we beat Newcastle, it'll
hmm,
be a difficult game today. But then I think this could be a good thing tonight because of it's how we bounce back. And if we bounce back,
yeah,
I think Newcastle will get beaten.
yeah. I remember a
So
few years
you know
ago.
what I mean?
So yeah, like you're saying, the bounce back, how quick you respond. I think that's the key. A few years ago, when we would lose a game, we'd lose two, then three, or draw two, draw three, draw. We wouldn't win for 3 games. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that as much. Last season, it didn't happen at all. I don't think. I think every time until the end of the season.
Mm.
This season we had that little blip before we went back to Dubai. So I'm hoping we've had a blip today. We jump back on straight away. Um, I don't think the league's done if we lose,
No,
but
it's
it
not.
makes it very difficult. Again, it's not mathematically done,
Yeah.
but I think City have to play both Liverpool and
Well,
Arsenal.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
City and Liverpool. They're what 2 3 weeks they're playing each other
yeah, I think that's pretty
at
soon.
Anfield. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that they've still got to play each other. We still got to play City.
Mm.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying we're guaranteed to pick up 3 points if we play them at
No.
all, but it's still interesting, isn't it? We
Well,
just got
I
to keep,
always
like you're
say
saying. Sorry, go
100%
on.
Gumsa. Sorry, 100%. I mean, just sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah, that's fine.
we got City. What it'd be Easter weekend. We got
Mm,
City, and for us to get anything out of that, we must have everybody fit
mm. Yeah, yeah. It makes
to
it does
get.
make a difference.
Yeah, you know what I mean. We cannot go there without Gabriel, without
Mm,
Declan Rice, or you know what I mean, without Saka, without Drake. We cannot afford that.
mm. Yeah,
If we've got a squad to choose from, for me, you'll always stand more of a chance of getting a result
yeah,
because
100%.
you know what I mean. Because I think with us, I know it's a different different eras, but for us, whenever I've seen Arsenal win titles and win cups, win FA Cups,
Mm,
it's always a case of we didn't have so many injuries. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
100%.
in 2001, 2002, the one player that we had out of our running that I can remember, but we were still going like the juggernauts that we were, was Robert Pires.
Mm,
You know, because we had players that would come in and would do a job.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
I think that's the
Freddie.
key. I think
You know
it's
what I mean?
if
So
if I think if
it's all
people
about
are out.
who's fit.
Yeah, and I think if
Yeah.
it's again, it's the positions, isn't it? I think we're 3 or 4 positions where if there's an injury there, we're kind of done for.
Mm,
Um, Comes
yeah.
the issue for us, quality of cover, isn't it? The drop off between who
Yeah.
starts and who's on the bench as such. So
Mm,
hopefully we can get it right though.
yeah.
Um, let's keep going for some of the comments. Wait, oh, sorry, my laptop's playing up a little bit.
Mm,
Frustration, guys. Gone, guys. Now I can move on. That's good. I'm glad you're feeling better. This is the therapy you need. Sometimes we
mm.
all need it.
Yeah.
Gumsy, was I
Totally.
injury prone? Not really, but because I didn't have any fast twitch fibers in my body, so I never broke down because I was always moving at one speed, which was neutral. So yeah, no, do you know what? I was quite fortunate. I think I've done my hamstring once. Never forget we had 4 games in a week and a half to win the league.
Mm,
I've done my hamstring and never I had to keep playing through it. And literally, they said to me, just win headers up front, and we had quite a few young boys, and they were fast. It was like you just go and be the target man. And yeah, I just had to disguise that.
boy.
Yeah, just had to disguise my injury, pretend that I wasn't running because I just
That's
didn't
when you
run.
did
But
your
yeah,
That's when you did your hammy
my
playing
hammy,
football. And
yeah, hammy was gone.
I did my hammy athletics, man. I didn't even warm up.
Really,
Yeah, Father's Day race, man. I embarrassed
my son's
myself, man.
birthday once
Thought
I
I was
had
gonna
a
win it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
and
I did the same. I was
my
racing
daughter's
my
probably
nephews and that we had.
watching now, so she remember that. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
See, it's a good job we didn't have video phones back then, isn't it? So, um, but yeah, I've done the same thing. I've done it at my son's birthday party. We done a race, and my nephew, it's the first time he ever beat me, and so I was like, "No, let's race again." And he took off.
Yeah.
He was so quick out of the gaps, but I always had better top speed than him. But he took off, and I've tried to digging in to catch him, and also I just felt it ping. So yeah, I've done my hamstring twice. Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was mad.
days.
So yeah, you've Tony, great question. Um, he's also saying, I'm glad Liverpool won. Was getting fed up here and there whining about injuries. Yeah, it's always whining with them
Yeah.
lot at the moment.
Oh
And
yeah.
he's saying he hoped they didn't celebrate. Klopp gave it the three punches, but they're allowed to celebrate. Um, wouldn't we just love this to win the league at Old Trafford or at White Hart Lane? Oh, that would be beautiful. Um, Luke
Again.
saying he already did his prediction. He got us finishing third on 83 points. Um, Tony's confident we can win our next matches against Newcastle, Sheffield United, and Brentford. Um, he said he'd done both hamstrings and still returned before Friday. That's brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant.
Oh, Tony, man, you're a
That is
ledge.
hilarious. That is hilarious. But yeah. Anyway, I feel better. I feel better. Let's just knock that one
Yeah.
off, and we've got to bounce back, get back to England, back to training, and
Mm.
get ready for Saturday's game. Um, against Newcastle. So yeah, and hopefully we can make that point gap back to 2 points, and just continue to push forward. But yeah, Sheffield United and Brentford, I'm confident about them as well. A little less confident about Newcastle, but again, team that want to win the league should be winning all three of those. And then yeah, we'd see where we are going back into that Porto game. Um, so yeah, guys, just want to say a big thank you in the stream as well. It was amazing. I really appreciate everybody. You kept us flowing because after 5 minutes, I was like, we've run out of things to talk about in this game. But
Mm.
yeah, the comments are brilliant. Big at yourself. Big at the rest of the Armoury crew. Really, really enjoyed it. Brenny, any last words before you go?
Listen, it's like Arsene Wenger said, on to the next game,
Yeah, that's all it is. That's
on
all
to
it
the
is.
next one.
And hopefully it'll bring us a bit more joy. But yeah, from us
Yeah.
at the Armoury, we're out of here. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Take care all.